Good afternoon. I should say good evening. Now it's getting a little darker, time of our meeting. It's that time of year. Uh, this is the Metropolitan Council. This is Council Chair Charlie Sully. Welcome. It's Wednesday, November 10th, 2021, and this is the Metropolitan Council meeting. Before I call the meeting to order, just a couple of things. One is due to COVID-19, I am still determining this to be a virtual meeting, and we're doing that under Minnesota Statutes Section 13D.021, and we all know how to do it pretty well. By the virtual nature of the meeting, we have not had public testimony. However, we do for some that have made responded to an invitation in advance. Public is still invited to submit comments to public.info@metc.state.mn.us, and we'll respond accordingly. So as we always do, to get a call of our roll, Liz will do that now. Liz.
Barber. Chambliss. Oh, Barber.
Here.
Chambliss.
Here.
Cummings.
Here.
Ferguson.
Here.
Fredson.
Here.
Gonzalez.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Lilligren. Lilligren. Thanks. Lindstrom.
Here.
Mousse.
Here.
Sterner.
Present.
Vento.
Here.
Wolf. Zurin.
It's present.
And Chair Zelli.
I'm here, and we have a quorum. Next up is the approval of the agenda. We don't need a roll call unless there is an objection. I will assume the agenda that was sent out in advance is approved, which brings us to the minutes from the meeting October 27th, 2021. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Lindstrom.
Thank you, Peter. Is there a second?
Second, Vento.
Thank you, Councilmember. Any discussion, corrections? All right, hearing none. Liz, you may call the roll.
Barber.
Aye.
Chambliss.
Aye.
Cummings.
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye.
Fredson.
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lilligren.
Aye.
Lindstrom.
Aye.
Mousse.
Aye.
Sterner.
Aye.
Vento.
Aye.
Zurin.
Aye.
Sorry, Wolf.
Aye.
And Chair Zelli.
Aye, the minutes are approved. We're now at the point of the agenda to welcome some public comment. And we have two people pre-registered to speak. I'll call your name and staff will unmute your line to make your comments. You're going to have approximately 3 minutes to offer your comments. And when you're finished, we ask that you actually leave the meeting, but you can continue to watch the meeting through our YouTube channel or just the link that's provided on the council's website. So first up, Troy Kunz. Pronounce that correctly? Go ahead. Well, we'll give him 2 more seconds. If he's not there, let me call on Aaron. I did see Aaron
Okay,
Rabowski.
good.
Is that you,
Hello?
Aaron?
Can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Are you
Okay,
there are you there together or?
Yeah.
All right. You have 3 minutes. Go ahead, Aaron.
okay. So I'm with Aaron. This is Troy. So I'm gonna speak first, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Council Chair Charles Zelli and members of the Metropolitan Council. My name is Troy Kunze, and this is my neighbor Aaron Rabowski. We are both longtime residents of Adnes Heights. My property has been part of my family going back to the 40s and spans 5 generations. We want to thank you for the great honor to speak to you today. We come before you with the utmost respect and the highest regard. The work you do helps us all work together to achieve much more than we could achieve alone. It increases the quality of life as a community. We want to thank you for your leadership in helping local governments work together to make residents' lives better. I realize that members of the public are not allowed to speak on items which are on today's agenda. But it is important to note that residents are disputing the legitimacy of the future land use map that is used in Figure 3 of Review File 22173-4. This map was approved without due process and added to the Adnes Heights 2040 Comprehensive Plan. We have brought our concerns to you in emails and asked our local representatives to help us bring our concerns to you as well. Since we did not see our concerns listed in this review file, we felt compelled to speak before you today. Today, you will be deciding whether to amend the Adnes Heights 2040 Comprehensive Plan to allow an industrial district to be rezoned to residential for an apartment complex. This site was used by an old hospital as a dump for medical waste and will require a very expensive cleanup. In fact, the Metropolitan Council will be asked to help with $700,000 of the almost $1 million cleanup cost to taxpayers. This is a serious matter that cannot be taken lightly and requires leadership from people such as yourselves. But in a city that could take years to study which trees we plant in our parks, it is shocking that we are not studying the effects of this development before asking you to amend our comprehensive plan to allow this project to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And so I get this correct. That was Troy. That was you. And now we'll hear from Aaron.
Yes. Hi.
Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you so much, and good evening, everybody. My name is Aaron Rabowski. I am also on the Adnes Heights Parks and Rec Commission. I'm a commissioner there. I too am questioning the future land use map that's been inserted into the Adnes Heights 2040 Comprehensive Plan without due process, and how it's possibly being used now as justification for the current Saturday's property amendment request. One of my concerns is that Adnes Heights is currently facing a significant budget shortfall, and residents are staring at a large monthly tax increase. Using PUDs, the city has encouraged development past its ability to support infrastructure. The Saturday property PUD is currently being considered for amendment is landlocked between 2 county roads, a train track, and a freeway. Since the proposed development district is currently zoned for industrial use, I'm concerned that there's no provisions in the 2040 Comprehensive Plan for parklands, trails, or connectivity to accommodate residents' needs. Since the city has a budget shortfall and there are no plans for parks and trails, residents will not have easy access to outdoor recreation or activities. Please consider denying the current request to amend the Adnes Heights 2040 Comprehensive Plan. This will give the city of Adnes Heights time to use its quasi-judicial authority over parks and trails to study creating parkland to add to the city center so visitors and residents have a destination and a reason to visit our city. Residents are also discovered during the Bluebird Grove PUD process that the attractive sections of the comprehensive plan that show beautiful pictures of lakes, trails, and parklands are not actually under the jurisdiction of the Metropolitan Council. So I question why residents are shown these parts of the comprehensive plan in the first place. There are also beautiful examples of parks and trails and green spaces in other cities' comprehensive plans as well. But these are just meaningless pictures if they're only for residents to look at. We haven't been to the other cities to explore what is actually on the land that's shown as parks and trails in their comprehensive plans. But if what has happened in our city has happened in other cities, we'd expect to see a tarred vehicle access road that leads to another PUD and not an off-road trail that leads to a park. Parks, trails, and green spaces are why I moved to Vadnais almost 30 years ago. We'd like to invite our state senator, Jason Isaacson, to work with us to change the law so that these parts of the comprehensive plan are not just a resident's wish list. Until then, please consider removing parks and trails from the comprehensive plan. We'd also like to invite you to visit our historic neighborhood and discuss the removal of the altered future land use map from the Vadnais Heights 2040 comprehensive plan. I thank you for your time. It was a privilege to come before you tonight, and have a good evening.
Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to move on to the business item, and I believe Councilmember Ferguson will be presenting that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The first business item that we have for today is business item 2021-277, JT same week. It's a unified budget amendment. The 2021 November capital budget amendment incorporates changes to the 2021 operating and capital budgets reviewed and approved by the Transportation Committee on November 8th and the Management Committee today. In the operating budget, this amendment accommodates a transfer of $1 million of MVEST from the MTS operating budget to the MTS capital budget, and $1 million in federal funds from the MTS capital budget to the MTS operating budget for 3 MTVA capital projects that MTS administers. Moving to the capital budget, the amendment adds 2 projects in the Metro Transit capital budget. Most notably, it brings in $39.9 million from Ramsey County for the Purple Line BRT. As described earlier, the amendment also adjusts the funding sources for 3 MBTA capital projects. These changes are detailed in Table 9 of the amendment. The amendment, if approved, was approved by the Management Committee at our meeting today. And so the motion is that the Metropolitan Council authorize the 2021 Unified Budget as amended in accordance with the attached tables.
All right, thank you, Chris. Is there a second?
Second by Barber.
Great. Any discussion, questions? All right, hearing none. Liz, please call the roll.
Barber,
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
Fredson,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Lindstrom,
Aye.
Doucet,
Aye.
Turner,
Aye.
Pinto,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Zurin,
Aye.
and Chair Zelli.
Aye, that motion carried. Next up, we are at the consent agenda. Is there a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
Mr. Chair, just a question.
Yes.
So you know, the people that had comment on one of the items on the consent agenda, would it be possible to move that item just to the regular agenda so that we can actually hear the item? And
With the unless there's an objection, we can remove that item, which is I believe the item related to Venice Heights.
194. Sorry, 2020-294.
All right. Is there any objection? All right. Then Councilmember Ferguson, are you moving subject to that removal? Is that right?
I would move the consent agenda subject to that change.
All right.
Wolf seconds.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All right. Liz, you may call the roll.
Barber,
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
Fredson,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Lindstrom,
Aye.
Hussein,
Aye.
Sterner,
Aye.
Bento,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Zurin,
Aye.
and Chair Zelli.
Aye. The consent agenda is approved. So now we're hearing the reports from the standing committees, and the first up is community development, where I think there is one item, but I think we've just made it 2 items, unless I'm corrected. And that is Councilmember Lilligren.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And if it's all right with you, I will bring up the item that's on the printed agenda, and then we'll go with the item that was newly moved to the printed agenda. So thank you. So the first item Community Development Committee brings forward is an annual action that we are required by HUD to take. It is to adopt the revised payment standards for our housing choice voucher program and other rent assistance programs for 2022. It's business item 2021-308. And before I present this item, I really want to thank Terry Smith, Ms. Smith, and her staff and her team for supporting the committee through this decision making. It's a complex and nuanced kind of issue where we're trying to balance maximum choice for people who use our voucher program with serving the maximum number of residents of the region as possible. And so this is something we have to do every year. The Metro HRA staff provided us information item at our October 18th, 2021 Community Development Committee meeting, presented a lot of rental market data, and the results so far of moving to our zip code based way of setting rents and the factors influencing payment standards. And although the data for our zip code based method was fairly new and isn't quite super deep yet, it was very encouraging preliminary data. Council staff presented 3 options for revising payment standards that fall within the federal parameters and continue to further the council's policies for housing choice, all with varying levels of choice and cost. The committee discussed the options and agreed upon the proposed action in front of you today. This was what we called option 2, which kind of found that what we were calling the sweet spot between choice and our ability to serve the maximum number of families. So, Mr. Chair, I move that the Metropolitan Council adopt revised payment standards as shown in Table 1 for the Housing Choice Voucher and other rent assistance programs effective January 1st, 2022.
Second by Chambliss.
Thank you, Councilmember Lilligren. Thank you, Councilmember Chambliss. Any discussion, question? All right, hearing none. Liz, please call the roll.
Barber,
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
Fredson,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Lindstrom,
Aye.
Hussein,
Aye.
Sterner,
Aye.
Bento,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Zurin,
Aye.
and Chair Zeli.
Aye. That motion carried. And now I think we're going on to 294. Is that Councilmember Lilligren?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll present this item and make the motion. We also have Community Development Director Lisa Barajas on hand who can speak more to this moment, but it is item 2021-294. The proposed action is that the Metropolitan Council adopt the attached review record and take the following actions. First, authorize the City of Vadnais Heights to place its comprehensive plan amendment into effect. Second, find that the amendment does not change the city's forecast. Finally, third, advise the city to implement the advisory comments in the review record for forecasts. And Mr. Chair, I would follow your advice if you want me to just go ahead and move that, or if you'd like opportunity to discuss it first, Director Barajas.
I think if you wouldn't mind moving it, we can get a second and then open it up for discussion.
Sounds good. I will move the recommended action, the committee recommended action.
Thank you, Councilmember. Is there a second?
Bento will second.
Thank you, Councilmember Vento. And now some discussion. I think perhaps we can just ask the Community Development Director, Lisa Barajas, to give us just a little background.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the record, Lisa Barajas, Community Development Director. This item was actually on the consent agenda at Community Development. It is a straightforward amendment to the city's comprehensive plan that re-guides 5 acres from industrial to city center, located adjacent to I-35E right-of-way. And the purpose was to accommodate a 5-story multifamily building with approximately 223 units. Because of the size of the amendment, it exceeds our administrative threshold, which is why we brought it forward. We hadn't heard any concerns regarding this particular amendment prior to the meeting today. So just wanted to share that with you as well. And I'm happy to answer any additional questions you might have. We otherwise find that it is pretty straightforward as far as council policy is concerned.
Any questions?
Just how would if someone has a concern, how would they know to voice that concern, so how do we let people know that something like this is happening so they can do it earlier in the process?
Mr. Chair, Councilmember Ferguson, our staff actually have been engaging with the residents that spoke earlier in our meeting today for a number of months, but on an issue that was not related to this particular amendment, which is why we didn't know any concern in this amendment. An issue in their neighborhood that is sort of a kind of an ongoing one. I think Councilmember Vento is probably more familiar with the issue than I am, given that it's in her district, and my staff have been working with her as well on that. So we are familiar with their concerns and did not see them related to this particular amendment.
Yeah, Councilmember Vento, did you want to comment, or we can have a couple other questions first?
Mr. Chair, first, thank you. I want to begin by thanking Troy and Aaron for their remarks. I have to tell you that in 2021, to have 2 individuals come forward and speak with such civility and clarity is pretty remarkable. And so I can't thank them enough. Yes, Jake Riley has been working with Troy and Aaron, and I believe others, regarding the concerns that they have in their neighborhood regarding another development issue, and has done great work in assisting them. And I think that in many cities, we have individuals trying to figure out how to engage with this planning process and how to have a voice in it. I don't think it's a Vadnais Heights issue at all alone. I think we see it in a lot of areas. So I think it's an issue we need to grapple with. And it kind of goes back to, for those of you that are on committees with me, my comments with regard to public engagement. I don't think that we can underestimate the value and the potential of public engagement. And I think that's at the root of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Johnson. And
Thank
then
you, Mr.
Wolf. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I really appreciate the public input as well. I appreciate that, you know, just like any public body, you can remove something from consent for further discussion. I also know that when the cities themselves are working through a comp plan amendment, those are publicly noticed. And there's actually a state direction on the distance from that proposed development that has to be notified. I think it's 300 feet, but I could be wrong. Some cities go well beyond that. So in the city of Plymouth, we wanted broader notification, and we increased that beyond the state minimums to 750 feet for the very purpose of making sure people were in the loop. So it is noticed usually in a local paper, online. Letters get sent to the adjacent properties at the minimum that the state law requires, and maybe beyond. It's usually on the websites. So I think it's just one of those things too, that it's usually that first moment we all get introduced to City Hall. That was one of the first things I was introduced. There was a proposed development in my neighborhood when I moved to Plymouth, and I'm like, I'm gonna go find out what this is, because I got a letter. And well, here I am. So I think, you know, can it be done better? Yes. But I think individual cities, hopefully citizens will let their city councils know that they might want broader notification. And that is really the best place to engage, because by the time it gets to us, yes, we still have some authority in this, but the heavy lift is usually at the city council level, because they have the broadest level of discretion when it comes to comp plans and zoning changes. And we are more administrative in the fact that we are making sure that it matches the regional systems plans that we have. And it's kind of the last piece of the public process. So it's really good to hear from our citizens at the Met Council, and just wanted to kind of better explain how the process works, because normally once a plan enters City Hall and it's deemed complete, the notices go out, and people can usually sign up for community development or planning department agendas at their local city halls. If they don't have those available, hopefully people will ask their council members and mayor to make those changes. So I just wanted to explain that, because I've been part of the process for a long time, and it might not seem very transparent, but signage usually goes up, notices are going out, and you know, we've just got a lot coming at us as citizens right now. And to Councilmember Vento's point, civility is just so appreciated, and the comments are very well taken. And I just wanted to make that statement on the record.
Thank you. Councilmember Wolf.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And that's actually a good segue to what I was going to say. At each level of decision making in this, there's different levels of control over what the deciding body does, and the city council has a tremendous amount of latitude when it comes to land use guidance and zoning, where when it comes to us, the standard is very, very narrow for us to say no. It has to have a substantial departure from a regional systems plan. And it's a hard thing for people to understand sometimes, that if we approve something, it's not because we like it or think it's a good idea or think it's a viable project that's being proposed. It's that they met the standard of it's not a substantial departure from regional systems plans. Like it or don't like it, local city councils have a lot of authority over land use, and we have actually very little on a parcel by parcel basis. I really appreciate the people coming forward and speaking, but legally we have to say yes, because it's not a substantial departure from a regional systems plan as far as I can see.
Thank you. Wendy, any other comments, questions? I will just have to comment, it really benefits that we have such informed and thoughtful council members. And it was, and I second the idea of civil conversation and understanding. All right, with no other comment, then I think we're ready for a vote. Liz, you may please call the roll.
Barber,
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
Fredson,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Lindstrom,
Aye.
Musset, Musset, Sterner,
Aye.
Vento,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Duran,
Aye.
and Chair Zelli.
Aye. That motion carried. Now we're on to the Environment Committee. Councilmember Lindstrom.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the council. We have business item 2021-291. This requests award and execution of a contract for lift station L24 renovation and force main 7020 replacement, Waconia force main 7508 phase 3. This is contract 21P009. Lift station 24 L24. Interceptor force main 7020 and interceptor force main 7508. We have facility plans for all three of these items that have been approved by the council and by the MPCA. These projects are along Highway 7 in Minnetrista and Highway 5 in Victoria. The project is focused on renewing a 50-year-old infrastructure and upgrading to current operational safety standards and making sure that we have capacity for growth. Construction is going to happen in from 2022 till 2024. And so we had an invitation for bids on August 3rd. We had a pre-bid meeting that was hosted by council staff and outlined all the solicitation requirements and discussed the project specifications. We have 59 plan holders with 9 prime bidders, 46 suppliers, subcontractors and consultants, and 14 of the plan holders were identified as women, minority, veteran, or disadvantaged business enterprises. A public bid opening occurred on September 21st, and 4 bids were received. The Office of Equal Opportunity set a DBE goal, a disadvantaged business enterprise goal of 11%. And Geislinger and Sons is the lowest responsive and responsible bidder and is recommended for this award. Therefore, Mr. Chair and council members, I move that the Met Council authorize the regional administrator to award and execute contract 21P009 with Geislinger and Sons to construct the lift station L24 renovation and force main, 7020 replacement, Waconia force main 7508 phase 3 in an amount not to exceed $19,059,145.54.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second by Barber.
Any discussion, question? All right, hearing none. Liz, please call the roll.
Barber,
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
Fredson,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Lindstrom,
Aye.
Musset,
Aye.
Turner,
Aye.
Vento,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Zurin,
Aye.
and Chair Zelli.
Aye. That motion carried. Next is the Management Committee. Councilmember Ferguson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This business item is 2021-309, it's also a same week item, the Oracle Support Annual Contract Renewal. This item is for the renewal of the council's Oracle software support and maintenance for a 3-year term. Oracle products serve as an important role in our finance systems and our HR systems. We were able to make this purchase under a cooperative purchasing agreement. The renewal is favorable to the council, representing a savings of about $1 million over the next 3-year period over what we had been paying. This item was reviewed by the management committee earlier today. The vendor is an MCUB vendor, so the whole purchase amount falls under our MCUB category. It's a disabled service veteran and a woman-owned business. So, Mr. Chair, I move that the Metropolitan Council authorize the regional administrator to negotiate and award a contract with Collier Avasky Computer Company, an Oracle Platinum partner, in the amount not to exceed $4,153,776.19 for a contract period of 3 years to provide Oracle maintenance and support services.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Cummings seconds.
Thank you, Molly. Any questions, discussion? All right, hearing none. Liz, please call the roll.
Barber,
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
Fredson,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Lindstrom,
Aye.
Musset,
Aye.
Turner,
Aye.
Pinto,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Zurin,
Aye.
and Chair Zelli.
Aye. That motion carried. The Transportation Committee has reports on the consent agenda, which brings us to the joint report of Environment and Community Development Committees. Councilmember Lilligren.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. It's business item 2021-270, and I'm happy to bring this forward. It's a community that I represent, the 2040 Comprehensive Plan for the city of Robbinsdale, and also their comprehensive sewer plan. And because Robbinsdale is connected to the regional wastewater system, this was heard in both community development and environment committees. Following dialogue and conversations with the city of Robbinsdale during the planning process, Met Council staff are recommending revising forecasts for the city to reflect increased demand and changing conditions for transit-oriented development. And those revised forecasts are shown as Table 1 of the staff report. This plan identifies candidate areas for development and redevelopment that exceed the council's density policy minimums for urban center communities. The plan also conforms to the minimum densities established in the Transportation Policy Plan for station areas. And as most folks know, most council members know, the Blue Line station location alternatives are being discussed right now for downtown Robbinsdale. And most of the areas that the plan identifies for redevelopment and intensification would still be within a half-mile of the proposed station location alternatives that are being explored. Our Met Council staff find that the Robbinsdale 2040 plan conforms to regional systems plans, is consistent with council policies and with the proposed changes to forecast, and is compatible with the plans of adjacent and affected jurisdictions. Therefore, Mr. Chair, I move first the Community Development Committee recommendations to authorize the City of Robbinsdale to place its 2040 comprehensive plan into effect, also to revise the city's forecasts upwards as shown in Table 1 of the attached review record, and to revise the city's affordable housing need allocation for the 2021 to 2030 timeframe to 101 units, and move the recommendation from the Environment Committee to approve Robbinsdale's comprehensive sewer plan and to advise the city to incorporate Chapter 7 of the City Code for Public Utilities as part of the final locally adopted version of the comprehensive plan.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Bento seconds.
Thank you, council member. Any discussion, questions? It's good that you represent your own community of Robbinsdale, so this is good. All right, Liz, you please call the roll.
Barber,
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
Fredson,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Lindstrom,
Aye.
Musset,
Aye.
Sterner,
Aye.
Bento,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Zurin,
Aye.
and Chair Zelli.
Aye, that motion carried. And now on to other business. Business item 2021-312, appointments to the Livable Communities Advisory Committee. The Livable Communities Advisory Committee reviews and recommends funding awards to the council under the Livable Communities Demonstration Account and the Transit-Oriented Development Grant categories. And this is a technical review group, broad expertise that reviews complex development and redevelopment proposals against programs criteria for projects that create more housing choice, support living wage job creation, connect jobs, housing, and regional amenities to create a more equitable region. So the proposed action is that the Met Council approve the following appointment to the Livable Communities Advisory Committee. Local government representative through July 2023. Peggy Sue Imahe, who is a management analyst with the City of Hopkins. Highly qualified in my opinion. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to advance that business item.
Cummings moves approval.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Bento seconds.
Thank you, Councilmember Vento. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. Liz, please call the roll.
Barber,
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
Fredson,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Lindstrom,
Aye.
Musset,
Aye.
Sterner,
Aye.
Bento,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Zurin, Zurin. Oh,
Aye.
thank you. And Chair Zelli.
Aye, that motion carried. So that brings us through most of the agenda. Do any council members have any reports or comments they'd like to share at this point? You do. Go ahead, Chris. Councilmember Fredson.
Yep. Thank you, Chair. I just think we owe a big congratulations and thank you to U.S. Representatives Angie Craig and Dean Phillips, Congresswoman Betty McCollum, in addition to our Senators Klobuchar and Smith and the President Biden for successfully getting the bipartisan infrastructure package passed and signed. And it's a huge deal, as we all know, for infrastructure across Minnesota, transportation infrastructure and transit. So and thanks to everyone out there who advocated and helped get the bill across the finish line.
Thank you for mentioning that, and it's great for our country, really important for Minnesota, and for what we're involved with transportation infrastructure and all infrastructure, wastewater, broadband. It's really a great action, and as I've learned too, we know we need to make sure that that is not only authorized, but that those funds are appropriated. So with the march continues, and hopefully more bills up ahead. But thank you for mentioning that. Any other comments? All right, Mary, how about, I see you're here. Anything from the regional administrator?
Mr. Chair, I'll pass tonight.
All right, how about our chief counsel, Ann?
Mr. Chair, I will pass as well.
All right, well, we didn't have a lot of information, but we had an interesting meeting. It's truly dark now, so I think it's time to adjourn, but good to see you all, and I'm sure I'll see you all in meetings very soon. Have a good evening. This evening is adjourned. This meeting is adjourned.
Good night.
Night.